Blighty Boxing in association with Frank Warren and Queensberry Promotions. Delighted to be back here at the Queensberry Ibox gym with Mr. Alan Smith. How are you, sir?
Yeah, good, Richard. How are you?
All right, all the better for being back out and about. How was lockdown for you?
Strange, really. You know, for 6-7 weeks, you're probably the first time in 33 years as an amateur trainer I've been at the gym, so it was really strange, quite weird, really. And I got a bit used to it after a while. I was getting a bit worried, you know, watching Coronation Street.
I remember speaking to you very early, just before all this sort of really blew up, and you decided to shut the gym for 3 weeks. Now, at that point, did you think 3 weeks was going to be sort of over and done with?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously everyone's keeping up on all the NHS and all the government guidelines, so you thought it was going to end a bit quickly. I didn't think it'd go as long as this, but you know, we had to adhere by the guidelines. We were fully shut. I'd come in and check the gym. And obviously speak to the guys, and that said just go running. A few of them wanted to come in, but we just couldn't let them. You know, it was very hard, and it's a trying time for everyone, and a new era, and a tested time for everyone, for every single gym.
Did the Smith Empire continue to run during lockdown?
Yeah, we're a cleaning company, so we've got quite a few staff and that, and we've got a lot of clients. So it was busy for us to keep everyone on site, and we didn't furlough anyone, and you know, we just kept everything going and won some more contracts on it. But also as well, it's just about keeping a service going in an industry.
So you kept Boy Jones Jr. working, didn't you?
Yeah, he's still working for me. Yeah, he's all right. I made sure he was all right. Yeah.
Good stuff. Now, one thing that's happened during lockdown, certainly relevant to this gym, is probably to some the surprise announcement of Johnny Garton calling it a day. First of all, what's your take on that? I mean, I saw him give his reasons in a couple of interviews. It's quite a sad way to go out in some respects like that.
Yeah, really. You know, Johnny Garton has been the probably most enjoyable people to train. You know, he was in an era that was with Bradley Skeet, Lewis Petit, Adam Dingsdale, and it was in a great little era. A few of them achieved good things, and he's a really nice boy. And you know, he'd reached a standard where he'd overachieved, but he just literally had just bought a new house, had a new baby, and he just means he was coming to the gym at 8 o'clock. And I sat him down, and you know, as much as I wanted him to retire before that, because you know, there's more to life than boxing, and it's hard to see that at the time. And you know, he'd been such a great ambassador for not just boxing, but for myself and Eddie. And I just said, look, you know, you're going to be working 12 hours, you're going to be coming to the gym. It's a tough night to fight as it is. If you was to give up work and we get a second spike in the COVID-19, you know, you're going to be in trouble financially. He was heartbroken. I was devastated for him, but I think he will see it in time to come. You know what he's achieved, and for the personality he is and the way he's conducted himself, you know, he'd have a massive respect from everyone, definitely from us.
I'd have to say circumstances conspired against him, because had he have gone into that British title fight on April the 11th, win or lose, he would have got paid. And then the pressures that he felt with the new house and the new baby probably would have been alleviated. Yeah,
definitely. He would have fought for nothing, and I think he just wanted to regain it. And you know, it's not an easy fight. You know, it was a tough fight first time. So it was going to be a tough call to win again. He wasn't worried about the money. He wanted to just win and redeem it. But he was coming to the end sooner or later anyway. And I said to him, you should retire boxing. Don't let boxing retire you. And I wanted him to know that you know, it was on his terms, not getting beat or cut. And you know, it was a tough fight. And I'm just glad that he's walked away from the sport with such a great record. And you know.
And a lot of fondness from the public.
Oh yeah, you know, I'm not on social media, but you know, Eddie and that was showing me everything that was said, and people were just like admiration for him, and like I say, he's been a great ambassador.
Now, you and Ed currently run the gym, a dynamic duo. If Johnny Garton wanted to get involved, could you become the terrible trio?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. You know, like we're still in contact with Lewis Petit and Sam Webb and Gary Walkham, go all the way back to Danny Hunt and Brett James. I'm still in contact with all of them guys. But I think John needs to spend time with his family. He's been selfish in the nicest way. You know, his girlfriend Jem has been a godsend, letting him go to work, go to the gym. You know, he's got 2 young kids grown up. He's going to enjoy his family. You go to the park and whatever he needs to do. And then the gym's open to him. I've seen him once since then anyway. He's popped into it, the bag, and I'll speak to him once or twice a week. And when this is over, me and my Brad are going to go out for some beers with Ed and have a bit of food.
Of course, Johnny always tells the story very affectionately, but you didn't want him.
No, do you know what? I mean, as you get a little bit older, and you realise then that you should always take everyone, but he kept knocking on the door. He wanted to trainer, just, like at the time, Sam Webb, Gary Walker, and Brad had just started, and there was all good kids, and he'd had 25 amateur fights with 10 wins. He couldn't get at the South East Dibs or even novices, and his personality, his perseverance, he's proved me wrong, everyone else wrong, and just shows that what hard work and determination to do for any young pro. Look at Johnny Garton. There's other fighters just him, but he's a real good role model to be around.
And look what he's achieved. Southern area, English, British.
Yeah, IBF, European, yeah. And he had some good fights along. And he's not been in one boring fight. But when he really looks back and he thinks that he's been in every fight has been hard. Against, Becky Moyer, he made a hard fight against him. But that was John, and he was a fan favourite. And I remember walking out. I'm not into any football, and I walked out in one of his fights against Ryan Fields for the English title. And your call, I was like, oh my God, I might go Millwall next week. I didn't, but yeah, great atmosphere.
It's the end of an era now, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then little schoolies in here now.
Yeah.
All the old boys have gone.
Yeah. 1 sec. Sorry, guys, 2 secs, please.
All the old boys are gone now, aren't they?
Yeah, all the old boys are gone. Yeah, so Kevin Jargo is the oldest. He's 24, so he's got to keep all the young ones in line. But you know what? We've had a great era, and I've had great fun. I've known Brad since he's 11. He boxed all my amateurs, and I spoke to Brad yesterday, and it's been one incredible journey with Lewis, Ricky, Adam Dingsdale, the last, and we'll be friends forever. And I think that's a massive part about boxing.
Now then, one fight that Johnny was consistently linked with was with Conor Benn.
Yeah.
Now, I saw an interview the other day with Eddie Hearn, and he said, I've reached out to Bradley Skeet for the Conor Benn fight. It's not going to happen, is it? Huh?
Well, do you know what? I mean, look, Brad's his own man, and he'll have my full support whatever he wanted to do, but Brad's been out of the ring for 2 years, and I think if Eddie Hearn, why don't he go and pick someone that's in the top 10 now that hasn't been boxing? If he thinks Conor Benn's that good, who I rate, and I think he's improved massively, and I know he wanted to box John, but I think John was slightly, just on that dip, and Conor Benn's on the way up, and it's clever matchmaking. Tony Sims is a great trainer and knew what he was thinking. But pick someone that's in the top 10. I think Adam Booth's got a couple of kids over there that's ready to box him, but they don't want to take it. So, calling out people that ain't boxed for 2 years ain't,
But you don't think Brad's tempted, or...?
Brad would be tempted. I think Brad's got the style causing terrible problems, but I think Brad's been out for 2 years, so he wouldn't rush straight back into a fight. But Brad's working. He's doing really well for himself. He's got a family, and I think that's his main goal at the moment. But
Right, moving on, more COVID-related stuff. I'm not telling tales out of school, but I've spoken to Frank a number of times over the last few weeks, and he sort of made a point each time of emphasising the assistance and good work and expertise that you have brought to their comeback programme, if you like, behind closed doors. Just give us a brief explanation of what you've done, what you brought to the table, the sort of detail that's had to be gone into to safely bring boxing back.
Yeah, it's obviously we're a cleaning company, and we've got some big clients, and we obviously look after all of their commercial, residential buildings. So we've had to take our health and safety team on board. We've had to have nothing but audits and meetings and conferences and that to make sure that we're in line with the government helpline, to make sure that we don't get any infections and like that, looking after buildings with 1,800 residents in it. So we just used our health and safety team and our advisors to help Frank out, and then obviously we just in line with it. Obviously we've had Jim as well, and we've managed to get a few things over the line. Helps each other. So
there's a lot of, I would imagine, jumping through hoops at the moment to meet this guideline and that guideline, I would imagine. Yeah,
I think it's got easier as it's gone along, because obviously, probably 4 weeks ago it looked a little bit impossible, but each day it's getting a little bit easier, and the chemicals that are out there and the health and safety and the team that Frank's got behind him are very meticulous, especially Andy Ayling. I've been on the phone with Andy all the time.
Right up his street, this one.
Yeah, do you know what though? But he's been good. He's come back with some things, even things we've not thought about and that. So we've managed to, and it's a learning curve for everyone, and not just for us, for every single gym, every single boxer, even other promoters. We're all in it together, and the safety of everyone is the most paramount thing for all of us. So I think all the information shared for all of us is good for boxing.
Right, share what you can of what you know about your squad and the return fixtures. I won't say where it's happening yet because it's not been made official, but the return behind closed doors fixtures that are forthcoming.
Yeah, so we've been given a few dates, and we're just a couple of little bits off of that, and I'm expecting towards the end of July, and we've got obviously Dennis McCann, Sam Noakes, Kevin Ajago, Henry Turner. All of them will get out. Ethan James. There's one more. We've got such a big squad. So I think there's 5 that will get out. And we understand we're not greedy when we go on the shows, and we're happy to get out and feel blessed that we've been picked. We know there's only 5. So, we're just going to take our slot. We're nearly ready. All of them have been training now and they're doing their own preparation. Strength trainers have been incredible, these guys online. So we haven't had to be in part of that, and then they're in the gym now and they're doing our obviously social distancing, and it's working.
Given that there's only 5 slots as you just indicated, and they're all TV fights, has you, as a caring, devoted trainer that you are, have you had to maybe accept 1 or 2 tougher matches than you might have done under normal circumstances?
No chance. Listen, I'm known for it, you know what I mean? I'm known for saying no. At the moment, I've got all babies, and they're all under Frank's guidance, and MTK with Dennis as well, obviously. So there's a little bit harder fights, but people like Sam Noakes, we give him a tougher fight. Because he keeps stopping everyone, and even with Dennis, I've picked a couple of opponents for him and talked to his team about Frank and MTK, and but it's the right fight at the right time. But I won't take anything that's too hard at this time. I'd rather wait till September. We've obviously now just got the next one in line for a title was Kevin Ajago, and we've given him a really good test. But I would have picked that prior to COVID-19.
He looks like he's kind of ready to explode now, doesn't he? He doesn't want any more learning or marking time. He seems like he's back with a vengeance.
Yeah, he's a really good kid. He's only had 6 or 7 pro fights, but he's far more advanced than the rest of them. So, Dennis would fight for the world title tomorrow if he had his way, but it is my job and everyone else's job to hold him back and realistically tell him that he's got to wait. But I'm looking forward to getting Henry Turner back out, and even James. They've all been really good, but Kevin Ajago is now the oldest one in the gym. He's the next one up for a Celtic title, I believe. So he's the one that we're going to be pushing a little bit more.
Just finally, you did have most of the squad out just before lockdown, and the main event ended in disappointment. Lucian Reid lost his rematch with Brad Foster. Have we heard anything from Lucian, what his intentions are, what his plans are? I don't think he's been training, has he?
No, I think he just took a bit of time out really and give it thingy. And I did tell him the second fight would be harder than the first one because we had the element of surprise. And I rate Brad Foster. I really do. I like his dad as well. I think they're a really nice team. They're good for boxing, their persona and their professionalism. And I thought it'd be hard that time round. But I wanted Lucian to box in Christmas, but it wasn't able to be done. He didn't want to do it. He wanted to go away. And I think momentum's everything in boxing. So it's just one of the things. We've had such a great run with, maybe one loss here and there in a year with that, so it's a big loss. But it's British title fight. He was very unlucky not to get the decision the first time round. So, but that's boxing for you. No.
But other than that, on the night there were all the other boys. I think they were all on the card, weren't they? Apart from Kevin, I think. They all showed themselves up well, didn't they? And Henry got some nice words from John Fury.
Yeah, I really rate Henry. I just think he's one of them kids. Reminds me of Joe Kawasaki. He's just very quiet. He's not got the loudest personality in the gym that's full of personalities, but he can really box. And he's got everything you can tick on it. And I think he'd be one of them kids that will just... I know a lot of the other people before he turned pro were really interested in him. He'd done some sparring over in Marbella, and everyone said this kid's special. I really rate him. They're all different. He's a boxer. Sam Noakes is a puncher, and Kevin Ajago and Dennis are both a little bit of that. And Ethan James is an incredible boxer, and
Ethan James is smooth, isn't he?
Yeah, very smooth. You know what I mean? So he's just like also as well. He's
coffee watching a fight.
Yeah. He'd probably be one of them that go under the radar, but he'll be one of them. That's a little bit later. And then obviously Mickey Burke Jr. who's been with me since he's 15. So I really rate him. But he's in a division that's very, very hard at welterweight, and I think he's due out on about the 4th or the 5th show. And I think he'd be one of them kids a bit like Gary Walkham. You know, he'll get to British level if he's careful, we match him right, and then you could surprise him on further than that.
You look at his age now, and you think, what's he going to be like when he's 25? He's
Yeah.
just going to be an absolute monster, isn't he?
Yeah, do you know what? He's tough, he's got a good engine, he's been in the pro game a little bit.
Set as well,
Thick set, yeah, his dad's a big fella as well. But I like Mickey a lot, I really like young Mickey. He don't give me any grief, I'm hard on him a little bit. He goes to work as a scaffold all day. That's always hard. You know, he's a grafter, he doesn't want to sit around and wait for sponsorship money, and I think that work ethic is a bit old school of Gary Walkham and Sam Webb, and I like that in him. I've got a lot of time for young Mickey.
Mr. Smith, thank you very much for the updates. And,
Cheers, Richard.
We'll
Thank you.
catch up soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.